In this video, I'm going to quickly introduce what cloud computing is and why AWS seems to be mentioned in every cloud conversation. So in the follow-up video, we're going to go a bit more technical, talking about AWS specifically, what it means to be AWS certified, and if it's even worth the hassle of being certified. We'll also go over the first steps of getting certified. If you're watching this right now and you know next to nothing about AWS, but you're interested in getting certified, then that's where you'd begin. Now, with all of that out of the way, what is the cloud? Now, cloud computing is, at its core, a way to rent and use someone else's computer over the internet. It's an alternative to having computers in your own house. So you can use these computers over the internet to do things like store files, run programs, host websites, and anything you could do on a personal computer or server. So you can think of it like a giant library of computers that you can use from just about anywhere with only an internet connection and a bank account. Now, as you might have guessed by now, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is a branch of the company Amazon, which lets you pay to use their computers to do stuff like host websites or do heavy computation. Sorry if all of this sounds a bit patronizing. I wanted to start off super basic, but we'll be getting technical soon enough. Now, AWS is the most popular and widely used platform. If you were looking to get a job in the cloud, then AWS would be the platform to begin with. I mean, at this point, they kind of set the trends. And the benefits of the cloud are pretty obvious. I mean, the biggest one is that there's a very low cost to starting your own business. So a small business wanting to launch their own app or website would have access to the same servers that massive companies are using. And they would have all of this access without having to invest in their own servers because they're just paying to use Amazon's. And there's also easy scaling with the cloud. So if you launched an app today and suddenly millions of people start using it, the cloud can easily expand to provide for all of those users. And if you were trying to do that with your own servers back home, your app would just crash until you installed more servers that could take care of the massive increase in demand. With the internet, a lot of businesses have gone global. But if you wanted to launch an app or a service to other countries and you only had servers in one location, then customers on the other side of the world would have a super laggy experience because there would be massive latency and the data traveling halfway across the world. The solution is to have servers in every continent, but with the cloud you can do the same thing with the click of a few buttons. There's other advantages I'll cover in more detail later on, but that brings us to the disadvantages. And the first and most obvious one is cost over time. I mean, Amazon isn't a charity, and Jeff Bezos isn't doing this from the kindness of his heart. He's the Wish.com equivalent of any James Bond villain. So if you did launch your hypothetical app on the cloud and it suddenly grew to have lots of users, then over time you would be paying your cloud provider quite a bit of money to host your app. For just an idea, Netflix is actually hosted on AWS. So every time you watch something on Netflix, you're helping pay for this guy to take that thing up to space. And another disadvantage is that you have no control over the physical infrastructure. AWS servers are entirely managed by Amazon and you cannot see or touch the servers, which can have security implications if you're doing something like managing financial services. And a final disadvantage I wanted to mention is that by its very nature, every component of the cloud is available to the internet, which opens up security risks and vulnerabilities. I mean, while cloud providers like AWS do have lots and lots of ways to prevent hackers getting access to their client services, there is still the risk. That's all for this one. But next video is about getting AWS certified. See you there.